Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another show for a perkier Tom. Happier than yesterday. It wasn't the best show yesterday, so apologies for my drab and dour demeanour. It wasn't the nicest of mornings for both. From a social standpoint, from my health standpoint, after dealing with the defeat on Sunday. But back today for a happier show and a lot more positive things to talk about as well, which is great. Good morning, guys. I hope you're really good in the chat box, and I hope that if you are and were supporting England in the final, that you've been able to cope over the last 24 hours like I have and dealt with it. And now we move on. And what's great about moving on is the fact that we've now got Arsenal. There's international footballers now. You know, it's over here. We've moved past it. We're moving on from it. And Arsenal's first pre-season game is today. I've got some things I want to talk to you guys about that, as well as all of the normal transfer stuff as well. But I want to start off. I know I said I've moved on from international football. I do want to start off just by talking about Kolasinac very quickly. Now, if you want to know my thoughts about the whole racist abuse that Saka and the other black players got yesterday and on Sunday, of course, then you can go and check out my video yesterday morning. But what I do want to say is that I thought that yesterday genuinely reaffirmed my faith in humanity for a number of reasons. First one, the response online, even from news outlets that I personally do stay clear of quite often. Some of the reports and some of the headlines that have come out from them is hugely respectable and, you know, fair play for it. And so that was great. Tyrone Mings, what an absolute hero. Fair play to Tyrone Mings for tweeting Priti Patel. And telling her what is that, because if there's one thing that there's anyone in this country, along with our Prime Minister, that needs to get a little bit of perspective about what they're talking about, it is her. So fair play to Tyrone Mings on that one, and all the England squad. And to be honest, this is an Arsenal channel, and I know that everyone gets very, tribal about Arsenal rivalries, but Spurs and their tweet from their account with Bukayo Saka and talking about unity and the coming together and the supporting of one another was also amazing. So fair play to Spurs, something I never thought I'd be saying, but fair play to them. As well. Second thing that reaffirmed my faith was you guys in the comment section yesterday was unbelievable. I was reading through the comments, and it is, again, I talk about you guys a lot because I do genuinely believe to have the best community on all of the Arsenal channels by a seriously long distance. You are awesome and so supportive and so understanding and so committed to try and helping this channel get as far as it can. And I feel like we are building something together, along with the Discord server, along with the people that join up to be members and support the channel, and that you guys talk to each other in the chat box. People tell me how they've made friends with people in this community, that have even met people from being in this community, and it's crazy. And I hope to one day do some proper, like when the world's back to normal, do some live meetup stuff, because that'd be pretty cool to get all of as many TGT members and viewers in the same place at one time would be amazing. So thank you so much for the comments yesterday. That was awesome. And speaking of which, the humility shown by you guys, yesterday the winner of the Euro 2020 sweepstake was the real Yanis, who joins us pretty much every single day when he's awake in the chat box. He drew Italy in the sweepstake of the 24 teams from our Discord members and won £120, which was the £5 buy-in of all the 24 entries. And instead of keeping the money for himself, the real Yanis donated all £120 to Gooners versus Cancer, which is an amazing cause and charity, which is being headed up by Mike from the Gooners podcast, who you're all very much well aware of. Link to Gooners versus Cancer is in the description. So if you want to go and help out, they're doing a FIFA, PS5/PS4 and Xbox tournaments. I'm actually going to be playing in the Xbox tournament. So if you want a chance to mug me off in an Xbox tournament, then you need to donate $25 and you can enter that tournament. But it starts on the 1st of August. So you got a bit of time to sign up. But Mike really wants to get as many people signing up for that tournament as possible. So please do make sure you go and check it out. Link is in the description. So make sure you go and check out Gooners versus Cancer. And speaking of, to final round off the admin part of the show before we get into the transfers, Kunal, thank you ever so much for signing up as a new member, mate. You've joined an amazing crew of people people, and I'm sure you're going to be welcomed in the chat box as well. I can already see it happening. Anyway, let's go on to our first transfer story of the day, and it actually revolves around Arsenal's pre-season. And as you can see, Arsenal did release a host of photos of players that are, of course, away with the national side. Saka, of course, won't be with them, neither will with the likes of Granit Xhaka, etc. Players that are playing either at the Copa America, like Lucas Torreira, because they are now on rest. They are now on their kind of holiday period, and then they will come back for probably the games against Spurs and I think it's Chelsea as well towards the end of the preseason. We actually play Chelsea. No, we only played Chelsea once because we're playing Everton in Florida. So that's going to be great to see the guys in preseason. It also gave us an interesting look and insight into some of the players that are still there. You got Hector Bellerin that's there, say Kolasinac is there, Willian is there. So that's some really interesting things. And ultimately, and the thing about this is that it means that we can first get a good look at some of the youngsters, their level, see players like Nketiah, Nelson, how they're getting involved with this as well. And you're going to be able to watch the game. Now, there was a question in the chat box, which I want to address, actually, because it is a good question. Let me just find it. I can't. Why can't I not find it? Here we go. Reese Harvey says, thoughts on Arsenal charging fans to watch pre-season matches? Well, first things first, if you are an Arsenal member, be it red, silver, gold, whatever, you don't have to pay to watch these games. So you can just watch it live on the website, and you can watch it free through your Arsenal membership. I need to renew mine because I didn't renew it whilst the pandemic was on, because I wasn't ever going to be going to games because of the situation. So I'll probably be renewing my membership so I can watch it. In terms of people, and then if you don't want to renew it, it's £27 for a 4-game pass with Hibernian, Rangers, Everton, and then one of Millonarios or Inter Milan for the final of the Florida Cup. So that's a 4-game pass, £27, £28, so it's £27.99 each. What do I think about them charging it? Obviously, you would hope that maybe if it wasn't a pandemic, they would turn and be like, look, we're going to give it for free. Arsenal are trying to make as much money as possible right now to deal with the pandemic. So I have an understanding of why they are charging for it. Would I prefer that they didn't? Of course I would, but I'm not going to really go into the things. Gooner Studio, yes, you do have to pay for membership. The cheapest one is about £34 for the whole year, and that allows you to kind of like buy. I know I sound like I'm advertising Arsenal now, but you know what I mean. So yeah, you do have to pay for memberships as well, and it's a yearly subscription, which I've never agreed with memberships. I think that was a bit of a money grab idea, to be honest, because people buy memberships and don't buy tickets. So it is what it is, but it's part and parcel of the game, no matter what we think about it. George Davies, thank you so much for becoming a member, mate. Really appreciate your support. And if you haven't need to join up as an expert member or a TGT ambassador, you'll be able to join our Discord server a little bit later on today when I put a new link in the community tab. So Ian Morgan says, to clarify, the pre-season on the ASC website, if you have to suspend for next season, you don't qualify and have to pay. Also, I believe it is being shown. Is it on ESPN? Our American viewers or our North American viewers will definitely be able to tell us if it is being shown on ESPN. If it is, you may not have to sign up on the website to watch it, but please do your research and find out if it is being shown on TV wherever you are. So make sure you do your research into it, because I am not gospel on this. So never just take my word for it and go, because, I can be wrong. So make sure you do your research and find out about it. Anyway, moving on to our possible outs this morning. And William Saliba has agreed a deal with Marseille, as have Arsenal agreed a deal with Marseille for the young Frenchman to join them on loan for the whole of next season. There's no kind of anything necessary that's needed in regards to an option to buy, an obligation clause. It's just a dry loan, as it's been described at times. Dry loan, that's been absolutely it, and that is all that it's going to be. So before we worry about him going anywhere after this loan, there is no option, there is no obligation, and the good news is that he won't be obviously able to join someone permanently unless they agree a deal with Arsenal afterwards. Now, there has been no new contract talks. David Ornstein did confirm this. There's been no new contract talks whatsoever about this deal, which is, frustrating, because you would hope that he would want to be sent on loan with a new deal. That's not going to happen, is what it is. And obviously, we would hope that when he comes back, he's got 2 years left on his deal. We would hope that he would then sign a new contract, but there's no guarantees. We don't know how this season's going to go for him, and we don't know what kind of mood Arteta's going to be in when he comes back to deal with this situation. George Davies in the chat says, I've finally done it, mate, signing up as a member. Only been watching you for absolutely ages. Finally time I gave you a little back. Keep speaking your truth on racism, mate, and your hard work on a daily Arsenal updates. Thanks, George. That's really, really kind of you. Really do appreciate the support. And Ben Britton, thank you ever so much as well. Amazing. I really am trying. I was talking to the Discord server yesterday. I want to do some more. I want to invest a little bit more into the channel and make some different type of content for this season. There will be more info on that. But I mean, in the Discord server, I regularly have discussions with the members to talk about content, to talk about improving things, because I want this to be as collaborative as feasibly possible. So thank you again, Ben, and thank you, George, as well, for your message. Let's move on to Hector Bellerin, who you obviously saw in training with the pre-season group. He also was pictured with Omar Rekic, who we believe is also on the pre-season tour. Tunisian international. He's already a full international for Tunisia. Obviously, they haven't got the best of squads, and so it's easier for a 19-ish-year-old kid to get in if he's good enough. But it's still really good experience that he's a Tunisian international. But Hector Bellerin, in terms of his move to Inter Milan, we were told by Di Marzio that actually he had already spoken with Arsenal and let them know that he wants to leave, which is interesting to see him on the pre-season tour, because your instant reaction to that would be, well, if he's asked the club to leave, why are they allowing him to go on the pre-season tour? However, it is just kind of protocol. They do just train. It depends. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he gets in pre-season, because for someone who's desperate to leave, the fact that he's now on the tour with them is a little bit strange, if you want to call it strange, but you know, it is what it is. And one thing I'd say during the whole preseason thing and the squad is that Nuno Tavares is actually with the squad, so you should be able to watch Nuno Tavares against one of Hibernian or Rangers very soon. So that's also exciting to see. But it's a case of, you know, just cracking on, getting on with his job, Hector Bellerin, and there's no deal yet agreed with Arsenal and Inter Milan in regards to that move. They want a loan with an option. Arsenal want a permanent or an obligation in a loan. It's a difficult one to kind of sort out. The middle ground is a loan with an option that turns into an obligation if certain clauses are met, which has also been touted. But at the end of the day, we still don't know if that deal is going to happen. And we still know that there is interest from other clubs in Spain, notably Villarreal, Sevilla, and Atletico Madrid. So that's Hector Bellerin. Moving on to Matt Ryan. You may have seen this. He will not be joining Arsenal next season, as he has confirmed a deal with Real Sociedad in Spain for next year. Good signing for them. Good goalkeeper. Good for him. Really good move. He obviously used to play in Spain with Valencia, so he's very used to playing for La Liga teams. And we wish the absolute best of luck to him, because he was a good servant while he was here. He only played a handful of games, but he did everything that he could when he was here, and he will, you know, we'll miss him, because he was obviously a really good backup for us, and it was part of me that always kind of wanted to see if he would be training with the Arsenal team next season. They clearly want a homegrown player, and Matt Ryan isn't a homegrown player, so that's what we've got. Chippy boy, thank you so much, mate, for signing up as a member. Really appreciate the support as always, fella. New link for the Discord server will be going into the community tab after the show. Now, this is the first of a brand new link, which is nice. It's been a few shows since I've been able to talk about a brand new player linked to Arsenal that haven't been spoken about before, and that's Thilo Kehrer, the PSG German international defender. Now, he is mainly a centre-back, but he's quite versatile. He's a little bit in the Ben White mould, if you would. Can play as a fullback as well as a centre-back, and has played a lot at right-back for PSG during their issues with injuries to their right-back position, mainly with Florenzi getting injured, and has played in that position with Dagba, the younger French international. And so Arsenal have looked at this Kehrer guy and we thought, well, his versatility is quite good. It would offer us a lot of protection in different areas of the pitch, and maybe that's the reason for their interest. Now, there was an updated part of this information that Arsenal actually would struggle to get in, because according to Foot Mercato, he would actually prefer to stay in France rather than moving to England. There was always talk in the article that he could potentially be convinced to still leave and to join them. But to be honest, I think we will struggle to get hold of this guy. And to be honest, I think there are better options. If Arsenal are going to go out and sign Ben White this summer, we've got Holding, we've got Chambers. I think we've got enough there, and I would be looking to go out and sign a more kind of more assured, more specialised right-back option this summer than someone, again, who's a centre-back, like that Tomiyasu at Bologna, I think it was, a Cagliari, one of the two. But I think it's Bologna, but it might be Cagliari. It's one of I always get those two mixed up. But anyway, the Japanese international we were also linked to in Serie A. He is more of a centre-back that can play as a right-back, and I really just kind of want a specialised right-back. That's what I want. Good morning, Doc. Good to have in the chat, mate, as always. Let's scroll down to, I think, what is our last story, and that is Ben White. Now, this is interesting because obviously we've heard for weeks and weeks, and we've heard from our own media. We've been teased by the likes of Chris Wheatley, who's put Instagram stories up saying he's coming home with a picture of Ben White, which all kind of, hints towards this deal being practically done. And there's been so much confidence around this being practically done. However, one of the big tips I've always told you when you're following the news is to keep an eye on the local media. I mean, I told you to keep an eye on the Pinken, which is a local Norwich-based outlet who would be more in the know, and I don't use that term lightly, about the Buendia situation. They're the first ones that reported that there was no deal agreed with Arsenal. It looked more likely that he would go to Aston Villa, and lo and behold, that happened. Now, the local paper in the Brighton area is the Argus, and they have actually reported that nothing has been agreed between Arsenal and Brighton as of yet. No deal has been sorted between the two clubs. There's been no acceptance of a bid. Whilst we know that personal terms have definitely been agreed, nothing in regards to an actual deal, money, structure, payments, fee, none of that has been sorted with Brighton and Arsenal. So despite the Euros finishing and now this being an easier deal to kind of get done because he's going to be available to be here, that doesn't particularly look too positive in that sense. Does it mean that this won't happen? Of course not. This could still happen this week. All it takes is a bid that Brighton are willing to accept to be submitted, and then it's sorted. I'm still very confident, not based on information I know. Don't want to give you any kind of false hope, but I'm just personally confident about Arsenal getting this deal done. It's all of the right signs, all of the right people are saying the right things, and it's just kind of this last hurdle to get a fee agreed with Brighton. And we'll also be interesting to see what happens to Yves Bissouma as well, because they have now, of course, confirmed Enoch and Wepu from Red Bull Salzburg, and whether or not he will play with Bissouma or not. Now, I did see something interesting yesterday about Bissouma wasn't spotted in pre-season training. Not sure why. He could have just not been in any of the photos. I mean, Omar Rekic, who is in Scotland with the Arsenal team, was also not pictured in any pre-season training photos, but we are, to the best of our knowledge, know that he is there. So just because he wasn't in the pictures doesn't necessarily mean he's not there, but that was something interesting I saw crop up on my social feeds yesterday, that Bissouma wasn't spotted in Brighton training. But who knows if that's any kind of indication whatsoever of what's been going on. Anyway, that completes all of the news for this morning. So we do move on to the final part of the show, which is your thoughts and your feelings in the chat box. Now, before I do, I want to get your thoughts on something. You can leave a comment in the comment section. Obviously, you can talk to us live. The first Arsenal pre-season game is tonight, and I'm going to be watching it. And I want to know if you want it to be, I'm not any pioneer of this kind of idea, but if you wanted to kind of try a live watch-along style thing. Obviously, I did quite a few with Hugh last season, and I kind of just want to do more stuff on here. And so if that's something that you would be interested in, then let me know. And yeah, because I know there's a lot. People do a lot. So I'm not expecting you to choose this channel over anyone else, because we'd be pretty new to the scene. It'd be great to get some guests on, maybe some members on at the same time, if I can trust them to not swear during things, which is hard. And it would be for me, because we talked about this before, is that I've never done it before, because I always kind of looked at that hour, that 90 minutes is very insular, very personal, and like you end up swearing and saying silly things that I don't tend to say on here. So I would have to really restrain myself and just swearing every 5 seconds. So yeah, that's something that I'm considering, but you'll have to let me know. Anyway, What time is the match? I believe the match is 8 o'clock, Mr. Harrison Carnaby. Let me just quickly check for you on the Arsenal website that it is indeed at 8 o'clock. It is it's 6 o'clock tonight. That's actually really good time. I'm loving that. Annoyingly though, Saturday the 17th of July is I'm probably not going to be able to do that one, which really that sucks because I'm on holiday next week. But we'll see. Maybe we can sort something out. The Sunday one at 4 o'clock, we'll definitely be able to do the Wednesday one against that's not even the right fixtures. So Tuesday at 6 o'clock is when we play Hibernian. We've then got Rangers at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We've then got Inter Milan at 11 o'clock at night in the UK because it's in the US, so you have to stay out very late for that one. And then they haven't confirmed the time for the final against either Everton or Millonarios. So we will wait and see as to who we will be playing in that one. 11 p.m. is a late one. I don't think we'll be doing a watch along for that one. Need your sleep, beauty sleep specifically. I mean, come on, look at me. Reese Harvey says, is Aziz with the squad or on the pre-season tour? I never saw any pictures of him in training. I actually don't know. And I saw the Kev's Twitter feed. What's his name? Scouting. Next Generation Arsenals at Scouting Indoors. I'm sure a lot of you follow for a lot of the youth team stuff. There's been no images of Omar Rekic so far in training. There's a few people actually that I didn't even recognise in the chat, but Omar Hutchinson is one of the players that's there. He's a very interesting young player that people are excited about. So that will be an intriguing one as to whether or not we see him or some of the other players. I haven't seen the likes of Charlie Patino, for instance. I haven't spotted him in the squad. I haven't even spotted Balogun, but I think he's there. I think Balogun is there. I may have seen one photo crop up, but he wasn't on the ones on the Arsenal official website. So he should be able to be seen there. I've been trying to check on Getty Images just to see if they've uploaded any of the training pictures to Getty Images, but they haven't at this rate. That's usually a really good way to check if players are injured or if players are training. Is you check if they've uploaded the images to Getty, but there's been no images on Getty so far uploaded, so I'm still waiting for that one. Samron, they've not released a list of names yet, no, which is really frustrating because they're there now. You would think they would just release the list of names, so that's frustrating that they haven't done that. Amari Hutchinson is brilliant, says Dan. Yeah, very exciting young player. Marcelo Flores, was he there? Again, don't know if he was there or not. It's not been confirmed on the list. Did not see any pictures of him whatsoever. The only ones that I'm fairly certain are there that I've not seen pictures of are Omar Rekic and Balogun. I think the likes of Catalan Kurjan are not available for injury. I don't know if Aziz is also got an injury, but I've not seen any pictures of him either. We'll have to wait and see for tomorrow. Mick Lucas says, any news on the Emil Smith-Rowe contract? The only news on that is that the club are increasingly confident of getting one done. Aston Villa fans looking like they're going to be in the mud, which is fantastic. And they can stop commenting on my videos. So, yeah, that looks looking good. In regards to Gabriel's injury, it's not deemed to be too serious. However, it is likely that he will still miss the start of the Premier League season, which sucks, obviously. But thankfully for a knee injury, it doesn't, or I think it is a knee injury, it doesn't seem too problematic. So that's hopefully something. It's tendonitis, which is obviously something that a lot of players have suffered with in the past. So hopefully he can get recovered and rested and what I need to. Gooner Studio says, Tom, I signed up in the Arsenal app and it still says check back at the respective time and I didn't pay. Interesting. I mean, some people you might be able to, maybe you just renewed something and you didn't know, but I'm pretty sure you will have to pay for the games. But fingers crossed you don't, mate. So there you go. Anish says, if we sign a defensive midfielder and attacking midfielder, what position will Lokonga play? I think Lokonga is very much looked at as for kind of this season, the backup to Thomas Partey. Last season, we really lacked someone to be the backup to him, to come in and add that mobility, that progression of the ball that we needed. And I look at Lokonga very much in the same kind of mould to Partey. So I wouldn't expect him to start straight away. I don't think you should be expecting Lokonga to come in and start games from the off. I think that would be very presumptuous that he is going to be in the team immediately, because he's been playing his whole time in the Belgian league. He needs to transition. He needs to be given some time. He'll hopefully be going to Florida with the team when he signs. And I think also when you think about the fact that his style is very much similar to Partey and we're looking to bring in another central midfielder this summer, it makes sense that he wouldn't be starting games already. So I imagine that we're going to be seeing him come off the bench in a few games to solidify the midfield, to change tactics, and that's it. Any news on Ruben Neves? Says Satya, nothing in regards to kind of progression on what we already know from previous shows that we talked about, the interest that's there, the supposed 5-year contract that was offered to him. Nothing agreed between Arsenal and Wolves at this stage. He's obviously still on holiday, I believe, from his time playing with Portugal at the Euros. So more stuff we imagine may be sorted in the coming weeks. But effectively, I don't think you'll see too much movement on that until the deal for Xhaka to Roma is kind of sorted, because they're still waiting to confirm that, because Arsenal still want £17 million, 20 million euros. Roma haven't yet budged on that, and neither have Arsenal. So until Xhaka leaves, I'm not sure you'll see any kind of real movement on another central midfielder. We will have to wait and see. No Wilson, nothing more on Maddison. Only interest. There's only interest on the club is all we know right now. Nothing in regards to a bid, no deal being agreed, no personal terms being agreed or anything. It's just interest. Wesley says, do you think Lokonga is the long-term Partey replacement? I think the fact we're talking about Partey replacements is crazy, isn't it? It's only, you know, he joined us a year ago, 28 years of age. I think he is obviously someone that they will see as, you'd think, as a long-term replacement, but I hope they see him as more of a long-term partner for Partey in the future before we get to anywhere close to the idea of replacing him. Alan Matthews says, if youngsters like Aziz, Amari, Kid Taylor, Hart, Rekic impress in pre-season, do they get a chance in the first team? Among the youngsters, who you want in the first team and who do you want to go out on loan? It's a really good question, Alan. I think that obviously it's an opportunity for those players to stake a claim. If you go for a preseason, you're absolutely banging the... If you say Balogun, for instance, comes in, scores in every preseason game, absolutely smashes here, he'd be in a really good place to put himself in contention for the Premier League squad. He's up against Lacazette and Aubameyang, really difficult to try and compete against those guys. But he would put himself in a really good position to try and at least compete with those two. When it comes down, though, to someone like Kido Taylor Hart and Rekic, they will have more difficulty. I think it's more of a case that they're just, you know, getting some really good experience playing with the first team at a certain age, and you have those players. And I think you've got the likes of Aziz, who needs a loan. I'd send Rekic on loan. I'd probably send Kido Taylor Hart on loan as well. Balogun is even in with a possible shout of being up for a loan. I know they're sending Nikolai Moller on loan, but I think a loan would be great for Balogun. Just sign a new contract, get him playing 38 games for someone across the season, maybe lower down in the Premier League or in Germany or somewhere like that. That would be great. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Constantine says, Tom, why there is no club which wants to buy Xhaka for more than 20 million? Do you think we should keep him if we can't sell him? The only reason why I say no, we shouldn't, is because from all of the noise from his side of things is that he wants to go. If a player wants to go, I think you should look to move them on. And he seemingly very much does want to go. Why is there no one coming in at that price? Mainly because all the Premier League clubs that would be interested have already kind of got their midfields pretty set at this point. And the continent is pretty hit by the pandemic and the financial difficulties. So it's going to be difficult to sell players for a lot of money to teams on the continent. So that's why you're seeing these low figures, because the Premier League teams are already set in their midfields. And in Europe, they're just still, you know, they're kind of really affected by the pandemic. So that's why you're not seeing that high bids coming in. Gunners Forever says, from India, being a fan since 2001, the board of directors don't care about the fans or trophies. I will be an Arsenal fan till I die. And I hope Arsenal would bring me happiness more than it does sorrows. Speak for us all, Gunners Forever. Speak for us all. Tom says, Tom, I'm really annoyed that Arteta is too proud to give Saliba a chance because he wasn't one of his signings a year around Guendouzi. Saliba is as good as gone, 27 million down the drain. I don't know if it's pride. I do think a loan is a good idea. I've talked about this at length. I think a loan makes sense. He's played 38 games in 3 years, which you're averaging at what? I mean, 12.6 recurring games per year. So it's, for me, it makes complete sense that he goes on loan and gets those minutes that he needs. So we'll wait and see. But it is very true that he may not rate him and he may never give him a chance. We'll wait and see. Ronyak says, what's your ideal centre-back pairing this season? Thank you so much for the donation, mate. Really appreciate that. Ideal centre-back pairing would probably be Ben White and Gabriel. If you're going to go to a back three, it'd be Ben White, Gabriel, and Tierney as a back three. So I think those two would work. I think Gabriel is obviously going to be transitioning and learning his English, and communication will be improving all the time that he's going to be here. And he needs to learn to play with whoever comes in that right centre-back slot, which looks to be Ben White. So we'll wait and see. But that would be my my thoughts on that one. Thanks, Wilson. Much appreciated. Arun says, Tom, where would Renato Sanchez play if he were to sign for Arsenal? He's not a Xhaka replacement, right? So what would if we was to sign him, and I'm not on board with this idea, but if we was to sign Renato Sanchez, I imagine we'd probably switch to the 4-3-3. We'd play him alongside Thomas Partey and play a number 6 behind him. The problem is we don't really have a number 6. And then he's not a 6. Lokonga's not really a 6. He's kind of in between the 6 and an 8. He could play there, but it's not his specialist position. I wouldn't play Partey at 6 because I think he's wasted there. Aziz is not a number 6 either, even if you were going to bring him through, which I don't think he's going to be brought through this summer. He might get some minutes in the Cup. So I think you'd have to sign a 6, in which case you go and buy Basuma. But we haven't got any links to that so far, and it's still very, very quiet on that one. Anisha says, Tom, how many... Sorry, I can't see because it's covering up. How many players will we be able to offload according to me? Well, I mean, it's a big question because we've got a lot of players. Why don't we go through the squad and see how many players we're going to be getting rid of? If we go for the team, obviously it looks like we're going to get rid of Runnison. That's 1. Bellerin, 2. Saliba on loan, 3. I hope we get rid of Cedric, but I don't think we will. Kolasinac, 4. Partey, Saka, Torreira, 5. Maitland-Niles, 6. Xhaka, 7. Willian, 8. Nelson, 9. And Nketiah, 10. And we've already got rid of Mavropanos and Guendouzi on loan. So you're looking at around 12, 13 players, maybe. That's a lot. It's a lot of players, and we'd have to probably promote from within as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Real says, Tom, who would be your pick at right back? It would be Max Aarons all day long. That's who I think we should be going for. Looks like the Smith is getting a new number, and James Hilson was seen wearing the number 32. If he is wearing a new number, I mean, that's a big, big sign that a new contract hasn't been signed. I'm interested to see if it's number 10 or 11. They would be my 2 guesses. Sorry, not number 10. Number 8 or 11 would be my 2 guesses that he would be picked for. 11 was, of course, Erdegaard last season. Number 8 was Dani Ceballos. Both have left, and I feel like one of those 2 would suit him. The number 10 role, I think, will be saved. Number 10 is a very, very coveted shirt number, and I think it would go to maybe a sign that came in for seniority. We'll wait and see. Alan says, Tom, can you do a review on the game and the rating of the players? We'll be watching the game on the Arsenal site. I am going to be looking at doing kind of a tactical breakdown-esque kind of video on that. So we'll wait and see. Some specific performances looked at more than others. If they upload the blooming feed to Y-Scout. That's what I'm hoping for. Martinelli will get the number 11, I think. Madison will get the 10. George, we can only hope that Madison gets a number 10 shirt. Rich says, hey, Tom, just joined. Any links for Nelson anywhere? It seems quite quiet. Absolutely none, Rich. We saw a link to Olympiacos about a month ago, but it's gone very quiet on that one. So I'm sorry I can't give you any more information than that. It's gone very quiet indeed. I'd imagine that you might end up going to another Premier League team, but we'll wait and see. Rahman says, how soon should we expect to see some movement in the transfer market? I'd say within this week, you'll see signings. You'll see some signings in this week. So that's my prediction. We'll wait and see. One of those is going to be Lokonga. The other one may be Ben White. We're going to have to wait and see. Maybe Ben White will be 2 weeks. But, because of the whole Euros thing. Lokonga should be sorted this week. Ben White, hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time. You reckon that we're going to get Aouar? Says, wow. I said on Twitter, I put no. I said I'd be absolutely shocked if we got Aouar. It really would surprise me if we got Aouar this summer. Not that necessarily that I'm reluctant to kind of back the signing. I just think I'd be surprised if Aouar came to Arsenal or if we went for Aouar. I'm just not sure it's the right move. Shiv says, any update on the Leno-Onana development or dilemma? Leno's staying, Onana looks like he's going to Lyon. So that's that. And that's how that looks like it's going to play out at this moment in time. Leno's going to stay, and we're going to sign a homegrown backup in a Ramsdale or a Sam Johnston or a Freddie Woodman or people like this. I think that's the way that's going to go down. I don't think we'll be signing Onana this summer, which is a shame because I would have liked him. What are your thoughts on the new home kit? Says Hilmi. I'm mixed on it. I feel like I need to see it. I feel like I need to have a look at it in more detail before I make a real decision. But it's got a lot of Ajax vibes about it. And I'm not sure I like remastering kits of other teams. That for me is, a bit of a no-no. But, we'll wait and see. I am going to finish off there, other than Michael's question, which says score prediction for tonight. I mean, I'm going to go for a 4-0 win. I mean, pre-season games, we usually tend to do all right in scoring a fair few goals because the pressure's off and there's no expectation. So, yeah, I'm going to go for 4-0, boys and girls. I hope that you're as confident as I am. Which you don't. You may be. You might not be. Anyway, that is going to finish off today's show. Please, please, please drop a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please click the link in the description to Gooners versus Cancer. Go donate. Go get involved. Go and play in the FIFA tournament that's coming out at the start of next month. You got some chance. And if you donate, there's some chances to win some amazing prizes as well. Go check out the website. If you donate, everything that you do donate effectively guarantees you for some kind of draw for a prize. So do click the link in the description. Do go check it out. Do go get involved with the FIFA tournaments on both platforms. And you can even play me on Xbox if you get drawn against me and you can, make me look a right mug. So we'll see. Gunners Forever, thank you so much for the donation. Do I still trust the process? Well, as I said, I thought he probably should have gone at the end of last season. So no. So I suppose the answer to your question is we'll wait and see. It's a brand new season. So fingers crossed something can change. Anyway, I'll see you guys very, very soon. See you this afternoon/evening for the game. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, up the up.